Hi, guys. Welcome to Under Review. I'm your girl, Danash, and I am joined by my two favorite Floridians. I have Fabian Lyon on the check-in, a 22-year journalist for the Miami Herald. He is the host of the Game Changers podcast with Fabian Lyon. His interviews have included Kobe Bryant, Usain Bolt, and the former wife of the boxing icon Muhammad Ali. Welcome, Fabian. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dinesh. Great to be here. Looking forward to this conversation tonight.
We always have a great time. And I got my boy on the check-in, the Mr. Jarvis Williams, native of Jacksonville, Florida, okay? Your boy was that guy at Jacksonville University, 4-year letterman. What else, Jarvis? Talk to the people. Team captain,
That too.
one-time Streets and Smith magazine, newcomer of the year.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now
did
my
your
boy
research.
is 14 years as a talent acquisition recruiter, and he owns two businesses, a great
Uh,
father of two, and he is the co-host and founder of his brand new podcast. Jarvis, tell the people about your podcast.
Man, first off, I appreciate you having me on here. I love the Nas. You the greatest, literally. You literally the greatest. I just started a podcast, Keep It a Buck. It's actually Jarvis and Josh presents, Josh and Jarvis presents Keep It a Buck. It's featuring myself and Josh Evans, former NFL athlete, Jacksonville Jaguar, Washington Commander. But we speak on transitional development from phases of not just athletes, but anybody going through a transition, how to get from point A to point B. We speak on it, we talk on it. So we just getting started. We just released episode 4 today with Clayton English from the 85 South Show. So that was awesome. So but we on here right now. We under review. So I appreciate you having me on. Really do.
no doubt.
And gentlemen, you guys know, you guys are some of my favorites. Jarvis, I've been knowing you for some years. Fabian, these 3 years have gone by pretty quickly.
Yep, they have. No
Hold on.
doubt.
Almost
Said-
3.
said almost.
Almost. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know the deal. Share, like, and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you didn't know, now you know. We know a lot of something about football, but we're going to veer away from our regular scheduled program, and we're going to do something a little different. This episode, we're unpacking the Black quarterback. We're going to talk past, present, and future. All right? So my question to you guys is, and Fabian, I'm going to go with you first. Jarvis, I'm going to get your thoughts next. What do you think about the state of the Black quarterback today?
Well, first of all, it's great being on with Dinesh and Jarvis, man. Congratulations on your new podcast, my man. All the best on that and all the ventures that you got going on. Great energy, great to see. As far as the Black quarterbacks, well, the Black quarterbacks have come to the fore after being disregarded for so long. And, they're speaking of Bob Marley, you can see him over my shoulder. There's a song that he sings called Cornerstone. And one of the lines says, "The stone that the builder refused will always be the head cornerstone." So for so long, the Black quarterbacks has been that stone that the builder has refused. And now, you know what? The Black quarterbacks have become the face of the NFL. So go figure.
We love that. Jarvis, what's your take on the Black quarterback today?
I like that. I like that a lot, Fabian, for real. But I'm gonna go, one step to the side, and I'm gonna say it's about time, and it's about time because I think the difference between we've had Black quarterbacks in the NFL, we've had them, we've enjoyed them, but they've been known for one thing, and they've been known for running, they've been known for being elusive, but there's two things that have come to the forefront, as you stated. There's two things that's come to the forefront. One is obviously the passing ability that they have now, but even more so is the winning that they're doing. A lot of the Black quarterbacks from the past, outside of Doug Williams, and let's be honest, Doug Williams is as great as he was. He's only known for that 1 year, right? And so now we have Black quarterbacks that are winning, and they're winning at a clip that is Patrick Mahomes is a Black quarterback. Russell Wilson is a Black quarterback.
Let's go. We're
Lamar
talking Super
Jackson
Bowl
is a Black
champion,
quarterback, and so we're talking
two-time MVP.
right?
Right.
We're talking winning. So once you start winning, the eluding the inevitable is very difficult. And so now the respect has to be put on, those black quarterbacks' names. So it's about time. And I'm glad we incorporated the passing and the winning, because they'll find a way to get you out of here. They'll find a way to exclude you. But when you're winning, you can't be excluded. So,
Right.
yeah.
No
And
doubt.
history has shown that. To your point, you mentioned Doug Williams. We can talk about Warren Moon, who was the first black quarterback I remember seeing as a young person, and
Right.
who made me fall in love because I'd never seen that before. Obviously, Doug Williams was there, but the first person I gravitated to was Warren Moon, that had me look at that position in the game totally different. We can talk about Marlon Briscoe. And to your point, Jarvis, I really want everybody to watch that documentary that Mike Vick did,
Right.
because I learned so much. I did not know Deion Sanders was a quarterback before he grew collegiately and switched over. I didn't know Tony Dungy was a quarterback, and they would not draft him as a quarterback, so he opted to change positions. And it's just so funny because that was years ago, but not that long ago. And fast forward, even though we have about 15 starting black quarterbacks in 2024 in today's NFL, some of that, as great as they are, that still kind of rings true with the Lamar Jacksons. Remember when that was a big topic, like, are you really a QB, or maybe you should change to wideout,
Right.
Jalen Hurts, etc. So
Yeah, no
we
doubt.
still have it there. It's still sprinkled in there a little bit.
And as you mentioned, Dinesh, to have 15, an all-time record for black quarterbacks starting this year, and 14 last year, obviously is trending in the right direction, but not too long ago, to your point, Bill Polian, longtime exec for the Colts, was suggesting a position switch for Lamar. And look what Lamar has gone on to do in terms of MVP and just a record-setting career. So, with each passing year, I think we are making progress now. And at the head of that is Patrick Mahomes. What he is doing has just been sensational, eyeing a three-peat, which would definitely put him aside from even the great Tom Brady. So things are going in the right direction right now.
And honestly, money talks.
Yes.
Money talks.
They're
So
making a lot of money.
they're making a lot of money. And the evolution of the quarterback, black or white, is you don't have to be a straight up pocket passer. Even look at Steve Young. He was scrambling back in the day. So you don't have to be a straight up pocket passer. You can run the ball. You can do both. Michael Vick took the position to another level. That man was a cheat code.
Mm-hmm.
He was, again, I love Michael Vick. I think it's everybody's favorite player growing up. But the biggest thing, and even Michael Vick could throw, Randall Cunningham could throw, Warren Moon could throw, Dante Culpepper could throw. One, right? So if you're not winning, it is super easy to say, you know what, we're going to, and that's why, honestly, I don't take it as I would prefer a white quarterback over a black quarterback with these owners. I
Right.
wouldn't do it, because what they've seen is they've seen Joe Montana win, Terry Bradshaw
Right.
win, they've seen Johnny Unitas win, they've seen Tom Brady, Peyton Manning win. Well, I'm a little older than that, but they've seen these guys win, and they've seen black quarterbacks lose. Just being honest, they were normally losing or not getting to the big game, I would say. And so
Right.
now, with that, you're leading votes for MVP. Now that you're winning not just Super Bowls, you're a part of small to mid-level to large dynasties. Being a black quarterback, now you can't. It's inevitable. Honestly, the black quarterback is what Travis Hunter is going to end up being, and that's that two-way player. A lot of people are going to disregard that first, and they're going to say,
Right.
"Oh, they're going to say there's no way." The same way they're going to say there's no way a quarterback should be running a 4-3, 4-4, and throw. It's not going to happen. And just like anything that's innovative, you better catch it first, and black quarterback is here to stay, and it's no longer innovative. It's normal, As a matter of fact, it might even be the norm, to even go get you one.
It's gonna be the norm.
Right? It's the norm.
It's gonna be the norm.
Right.
Jarvis, you said something that kind of stood out to me when you said they weren't winning. My question to you guys is, we knew what the times were then, the fabric of America. Was it that they weren't winning, or they didn't have the opportunity and be put in the position to be successful? Because when we talk about people like Marlon Briscoe, Willie Thrower, who were some of the first
Pioneers.
black, quarterbacks, you played 3 games, Marlon Briscoe, and then it was like, see you later. I'm sorry, Willie Thrower, or Marlon Briscoe was a QB, and the next thing you know, they changed him to a wide receiver for the Dolphins. So were they not winning because they weren't good? And we know they weren't good, right? Because we know what people used to think of the black quarterback. You can't run the offense. Because back in the day, before we had coordinators really drawing up the playbook, the quarterback was the one that was calling the plays on site.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you this, my thought is I think Doug Williams is a pioneer in his own right, and he also ruined black quarterbacks for a little while after that, because he won as a pocket passer. Doug Williams was a pocket passer for the Redskins, when they won the Super Bowl. And so now you've been, right or wrong. I'm just talking about football. I'm not talking about the
Right.
segregation part, right? So, or it's all intertwined, but he was given a chance to play, and when he was given his chance to play, he won, looking like what a stereotypical white quarterback looks like. So now it's like, oh, it's not black or white, it's pocket passer versus runner. We don't want runners. Everybody Bill Polian age and around there, we don't want runners. We want pocket passers. And so again, I'm not giving anybody a get out of jail free card, but I am saying that pocket passers won until innovation started to come when it came to these offenses, when it came to Bill Walsh actually, I think, opened up the floodgates more than, let me stop not say that. I was about to say more than Doug Williams. That's crazy. But Bill Walsh, if you really think about it, what's more prevalent to a black quarterback today? Bill Walsh's offense or Doug Williams winning? Doug Williams looks like Tom Brady, mechanics-wise. But Bill Walsh produced a man named Steve Young that all black quarterbacks playing like right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who's more important to them? So again, Colin does have a big, part in all of this. But just when we're talking about winning, losing, I could see a little bit where somebody would say, you know what? Doug won. He's black, and he won as a pocket passer. Let's go get pocket passes opposed to, people who are running and throwing, because you're taking up plays. You're taking up a lot of plays. You play 80 plays a game. You're taking, 40 of them thrown already. Now you're taking up another 20. You got to be absolutely amazing to go 3/4 of the plays and win, So just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Fabian, what about you?
Well, I think, obviously it is a copycat league. All these professional leagues are pretty much copycat leagues. I would say that the NFL, for a long time, we're really fighting that to be the copycat league, despite the success of the black quarterback. And let's be honest, man, black quarterbacks were given the quick hooks. They were put in bad situations. They were put in failing franchises. They were not put in prime position to succeed. And as you know, if you don't have the supporting cast around you, if you don't have the right people picking the players that are going to protect you, or the right coordinators, you're in for a short career. So that is that. But one thing I'd like to see, Warren Moon cannot be the only black quarterback in the NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, we need more
That's
advocacy.
true.
That's very true.
And that's kind of wild.
That he's still the only one, it is a damn shame, to be honest.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
So we want other players to advocate on behalf of black quarterbacks. We're all in this together. And representation means so much. We need our young players especially to look up and say, hey, we got 4 or 5 guys in NFL Hall of Fame. Not to say they're not looking up to a Patrick Mahomes, for example, but now they can see that the reward is there for work that they are about to put in.
100%. I agree. 100%. 100%. There's that real quick. Is Doug Williams not like the playing version of Tony Dungy? Like Tony Dungy won one. Well, he
Yes.
won one, but he had a good career, but he
Right.
mainly won, but he's known that
Right.
one, but he's known more so for leading a pack of people or leading a culture that wasn't as outspoken. Like Tony Dungy spoke up for black cultures without speaking up. Like his play did the talking, right? His culture did the talking. Doug Williams, his play did the talking. So to your point, I think that being the first black quarterback to withstand all of the pressures that comes with that,
Yeah.
with being black in general, outside of the 3 hours you playing football, but then you
Right.
go up there for the 3 hours and you absolutely dominate and you beat every team in the world and you're a world champ. I'm sorry.
Right.
I would have put Doug he has 2 retired jerseys. He has 2
Yeah.
retired jerseys on 2 different teams, but you're not in the Hall of
I
Fame.
agree.
Like, I
Yeah.
completely agree. Representation is everything. He should be, in my opinion, if he's not in the Hall of Fame, he should be on those ballots where people are seeing him like time after time again at the bare minimum, but he should be in my opinion.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt.
And so your point, both of your points, as you guys are talking, I'm really thinking about it. Like Warren Moon, my favorite, because he was the one I saw, but he got inducted, what, 2006? We're talking?
Yeah. That's a long
It
time
took
now.
that long to
Yeah.
induct him.
When was his
Right.
last
And
season? I don't know when was his last season. I don't know.
yeah, that's
Did
true
he play
too.
in
I
the
have to look
2000s?
that up.
Ended up
Yeah.
5 year.
Yeah, he did. He was. I gotta look that up. That is a good point.
Yeah.
2006, and we are in
2020.
2024. That is quite a while. And
Yeah.
there's been whether they played. And again, I'm taking it back to Fitz Pollard. I'm taking it back now.
Yeah.
There have been some black quarterbacks, and does the NFL have to do what the MLB just did? Because we're talking about before the merger of the NFL. We're
Right.
talking about AFL. Do we have to bring and look up and dig into stats for those pioneers that came before the modern era and before the modern era was revamped, right? Again, to the AFL, and then we had the other side, and then the merger. And do we start considering them
That's right.
when we talk about records and
Yeah.
first and Hall of Fame?
Right. And you can't hold that against them. There at a time where they weren't allowed, obviously, to play in the
That
NFL. So
part.
we can't
That
hold
part.
that. We got to follow suit. I would like, to your point of the MLB, what they have done, and rightfully so. I don't know what took so long, but Doug needs to be in there. I mean, I think Cunningham needs to be in there as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, who threw a better deep ball than Randall Cunningham? And then he was Michael Vick before Michael Vick in terms of escapability and improvising and running. So let me tell you, man. But whoever has a gold jacket, your responsibility is beyond just having played. You now need to advocate for other
Right.
people, for people that you played with and against, to get in as well. That's a responsibility.
I agree. How do you feel? I guess a kind of a question. Deion Sanders actually feels that, and I'm sure he's not speaking specifically on black quarterbacks at all, but he actually feels that there should be less people in the Hall of Fame. He thinks that the Hall of Fame is becoming saturated with normal talent opposed to elite talent. Like,
He's
does
not
that?
lying.
I know, but does that take somebody statistically like, who I love, 12 from Philadelphia, Randall Cunningham, out of the picture? Does that take somebody like him out? Does that take does that put Steve McNair in? Because if you ask me right now, Steve McNair or Randall Cunningham, I'm going here McNair. Me personally. That's just me personally. But I love Randall Cunningham. But it's like, Steve's not even, I don't think it's close. And so a lot of these black quarterbacks aren't close in regards to numbers, but I do agree that there has to, in a time where they could not choose to, they could not play, and it wasn't their choice. Yes, whatever they played in, wherever they played at, it should definitely be considered. So my question is, like, with somebody like Deion saying that, does that hurt the chances of, a black quarterback in the day that's more of a pioneer than a statistic, guru? Does that hurt them?
If we go by the metrics that they're using now, yes. But to Fabian's point, we do have to go by what the metrics were then, right? Because it's not fair that I'm a black quarterback back in the 70s, he's on the Great Depression. And because of the time, you
Right.
don't want to see a black quarterback behind center. So you give me one season, if that, and then you're like, yeah, you gotta go to. Hey, I think you'd be a good DB. But you know what? I think you'll be a better running back.
I'm gonna take it
But in
further. Imagine being behind that 5 offensive linemen that don't want nothing to do as far as blocking.
that part,
Right.
Imagine
Yeah.
that. That's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
that part.
That's really tough there, especially if they're at the time, you're reading some stories that they're from the South and there's no way they're going to block for a black quarterback. So there are all kind of obstacles that we need to factor in as well. I personally think we over glorify Super Bowl championships. Eli Manning, for example, is going to get in. And yeah, he got his 2 rings. I'm not taking that away.
Look,
But I think Steve McNair is right there, bro. I think Steve McNair is right there as far as
Jarvis, leave me alone. Let's put Aaron McNair in and let's hold Eli for a little bit. And no disrespect Eli, but you know how I feel about that one.
yeah, Eli Manning, Robert Ory, you know what I'm saying? Or you got or he got a lot of rings, man. No, but I'm serious. Eli deserved his, but all I'm saying is, man, Steve McNair, Randall Cunningham, they deserve to be in the Hall. Despite what Dion said. That shouldn't exclude them.
I agree. No, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. 100%.
So let me ask you this, Danash and Jarvis. What do you think turned the tide? Because, even up until 15 years ago, we're saying, man, is this ever going to change? And then the Kaepernick thing did, and we all kind of took a deep breath because now we're thinking, at least I was thinking, how is that going to affect future black quarterbacks being drafted? Are they
Right.
going to be looked at a certain way? They're going to come in and cause trouble with the civil rights, kind of vibe. So what do you think changed this tide, and when do you think this tide kind of changed to what we're seeing now in terms of black quarterbacks being drafted in the first round, for example?
I would say outside of money, right?
Yeah.
Let's take it to the college level, collegiately. Look at what we're doing. I think we don't speak enough also about black quarterbacks on a collegiate level and what they've been doing for years. And you can't escape it, right? All these football teams, every time I turn the channel, a lot of times I see a black brother under center and you can't, it just is what it is, right? Now, these kids are looking up to black quarterbacks, past and present, whether they realize it or not, because black quarterbacks have been scrambling forever.
Right.
They've been pure pocket passers forever. And the last 5, 10 years or so, whether we realize it or not, they've been marrying the two on a collegiate level together. And the NFL, again, copycat league, a lot of times they take what works on a collegiate level
Right.
and bring it to the pros. And this is what we're seeing. You cannot escape it. That's my opinion. Jarvis, what you think?
That was well said. That was like very well said. I don't know if I had too much to say after that. It won't be long. It won't be long because I think, again, I said before, not going into it, but now going into, a bit of segregation here and there. People have been using blockages and parameters to keep black quarterbacks off the field, right? And they've used metrics to do. It's simple and plain. I mean, honestly, from perspective only, you're literally telling a person who can run and throw that it's the detriment to play quarterback. It's weird. It's weird in general. Like if you actually think about it, this person can literally run and throw and run at the same time. And you're telling us, not it, and so now that we're winning and we're actually showing that not only can we win, but we can act accordingly, whatever your parameters are off the field,
Right.
with, being respectable, being able to interview, being intellectual, being able to pick up an offense fast, being able to lead a franchise at 22, 23, 24 years old. It's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. And now you're even talking, if you want to throw money in there, sometimes people can't play for money. Well, you got, the number one NIL earner right now is a black quarterback in the spotlight. You got more spotlight than some of the NFL quarterbacks right now in Mr. Shador. So I don't think it's going to be long. I don't think it's going to be long where, things that segregation has broken down in the past, it's inevitable and it's imminent that it's going to, that you can't fight it. You can't run from it. And you cannot run from the best players playing at a position. And you're not going to be able to run from the fact that a person who can run a 4.4 and throw a ball 65 yards, 70 yards in the air is not the best player at that position. You're not going to be able to run from that too long. Just because mom and dad have a status and family has a status. So that's usually what the quarterback was, right? Like the family is in the status background was a certain way. Now no one cares about none of that because I'm from Florida. You're down there in South Florida. We know where Lamar Jackson come from, and my man got 2 MVPs, 2 AFC Championship appearances, and he's bound to get to a big game at some point, and he's just getting started.
Just started.
It's gonna happen sooner than later, and no one can do anything about it.
No doubt, no doubt. And when we look at even the college offenses, that wishbone thing, and Alabama, Oklahoma, those kind of teams were traditionally they were running teams, running the ball 40, 45 times a game. Now look at the All-American wide receivers, for example, that Alabama's produced the last 12 years.
Right.
So the mere fact that they have opened it up, their offenses now turned to more of a pro style. That has benefited black quarterbacks too in terms of showing all their skills and not just this option quarterback that we saw so often, 20 years ago even.
I'm very proud of Alabama, having black quarterbacks on a regular basis.
Every now and then.
That Alabama has a black quarterback. It's probably dead even since John David Booty. It's dead even, I feel, Yeah, it's good to see. I like it. I like it a lot.
Let's jump to the present, guys. Like we stated before, 15 quarterbacks are black in the 2024. We talking Lamar Jackson. We talking Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Love, Mahomes, Brissett. You name it. That's crazy. I'm still so amazed. I'm cheesing how amazed I am, and I love to see it. Kyler Murray, and you guys know me. One thing for sure, 2 things for certain. I cape for the black quarterback because of the thought process on how they weren't.
So tell me this. I gotta put you on the spot.
Talk to me.
Who's your favorite quarterback ever?
Everybody know my favorite quarterback is Tom Brady. Come on, I'm a Patriots fan. Go Blue, Michigan. Come on now. But that's irrelevant to this conversation. You see how you do?
I'm sorry. I had to do that. I had to. I had to.
Man.
I know you rep for the black one. I know.
That is so funny.
He's my favorite quarterback. You're my favorite.
Hey, but one young man that stands out is Jaden Daniels, obviously for Washington. He has turned around that franchise, despite the bad nickname, by the way. He has them 4-1 atop the NFC East. Nobody had them 4-1 atop the NFC East. He's setting records. He set the single season passer rating at LSU, and he now is 4th in the entire league in passer rating for a rookie. Very, very impressive for one Jaden Daniels, would you say?
He's mean.
Yeah.
Mean.
Rookie of the year for sure, if he keeps it up. And let me tell you something, New England. Y'all have one job, and that was to get that young man. Can't believe you ain't making a phone call that you know he was gonna last.
You don't like Drake, man? He's starting this week.
Yeah, I don't know why. We ain't got no O-line, but I digress. Let's focus on the black quarterback. Focus on the black quarterback.
It's really fun to see. It's fun. It's fun. It's right. The NFL, I don't think, goes without them, right? I don't think the NFL is the NFL without the entertainment, without the winning, and frankly, without the coof of the black quarterback, because they come in
flag. That's
ways.
right.
They come in all different ways. Like we have classy ones, we have quiet, we have rambunctious ones, we have fast ones, we have pocket passes, we have we have a lot of different variety of black quarterbacks, and the NFL is better with black quarterbacks at the helm. And Jaden Daniels I don't really brag too much like that. I really don't. I wasn't even
Special.
big on. I'm a Buccaneer, so I wasn't even big on Jameis his rookie year. He was kind of throwing it a little bit, but James
Right.
mean like MVP in the next 2 years, 3 years. Mean like he's
Yeah.
mean.
Black people aren't monolithic, right? Despite what some people may think. So there's no difference in the black quarterback. Like you
Yeah,
said, different swag. It just is what it is. What I want to see, or what I would hope to see, gentlemen, is as the sport grows and as we have these, and we're just speaking starting black quarterbacks, right? We're not even including.
look like it. Look like
Yeah, we look good.
sound clear, to be honest with you. You want to go to commercial? It look like it's at 33.25, still going.
Yeah.
The commercial
We're
is
going strong.
stop by the Keep It a Buck pod. Go check out episode 4. Clayton English on in the gym with us. The Keep It a Buck pod on IG. Go to YouTube, subscribe to that.
Talk about it. All right, guys. Not sure if we had technical difficulties or
Back?
not. We back. We back.
Let's
Your
do it.
girl is switching platforms, but we here. We're continuing great conversation. But yeah, gentlemen, what I would like to see, this is what I'm saying. What I would like to see as the sport continues to grow and black quarterbacks continue to start, and again, we're not including those that are backing up, that this translate, and if players choose to continue coaching after playing professionally, right? That this also grows into a space of coaches, a space of general managers. I would love to see more black owners. I know that may take a little longer, but that's what I would like to see in the future.
That's
While
a
I'm still
good point.
here.
That's a good point. They're coming. They're coming. I'm telling you right now, like it's inevitable. Like I said, winning and money have been like the two parameters that have kept black folks out of not just sports, anything. So be it that, the hardest position in sports to play is the quarterback position in football. And more, half the league is starting. That starting is black. And again, like you said, not even the backups, not even the ones that are leading scout teams that are actually, for the ball players that know, scout teams win Super Bowls, honestly. Practice squads win Super Bowls. So, the guys, I personally have played against guys who are leading scout teams like right now, literally today. And it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to lead to a lot more trust from the owners and from the league to hold more prominent positions. And it's only going up from here. And if it doesn't, you're going to have a hard time fighting off that influence that is created.
Mhm.
You have a hard time.
Yeah.
Real hard time.
I'd like to shout out Andy Reid here, for
Right.
taking a shot with Michael Vick when so he was, so many franchises wouldn't touch him. And
Mm.
obviously he went through what he went through. But Andy Reid with Donovan McNabb and then Vic, and obviously now with Patrick Mahomes,
That's
but
right. Yep.
he has really put his quarterbacks, and obviously it's his job, but he has really allowed black quarterbacks to shine and put them in the best position to win. And I think that needs to be noted. I really think that needs to be noted. He gave Vic a second career when most teams would not. And Vic actually probably had one of his better overall efficient seasons under Andy Reid. So shout out to Coach Reid.
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, gentlemen, I think we might have lost Jarvis. But my question to you while Jarvis comes back to us is, oh, there go my boy.
Sorry. I don't know what
No,
happened.
no, you good. You good, baby. It's all right. The people still getting that good. So
What's up?
we good. Technical difficulties and
What y'all talking? We're talking about Buccaneers Super Bowl. What we were talking about? What's next? Black quarterback. Right.
yeah, let's focus because don't get me
Right.
started on Baker Mayfield.
Right.
Great. With all that is said, are black quarterbacks the norm or are they still the exception?
Well, they're not the norm. We're still talking about this. We don't have a segment on white quarterbacks. So until it's the norm, it's an initiative, and we literally just spoke it into existence. We just stated, we'd like to have more black, coaches and more black, front office personnel that stems from, playing being a black quarterback. So when you still have initiatives like that, it is not a norm. Now, is it better? Yes. Is it going to happen? I think so. Is it the next thing to happen? I honestly think so. I think that being a black quarterback is it. I think we're going to take over the position in here a little bit, to be honest with you, maybe next 10, 20 years. But the question of it, is it the norm? No. Until we stop having documentaries on it, until we stop having
Conversations like this one on it.
conversations like this one, it is not, like I said, because we're not going to sit here and have a conversation about, specifically white quarterbacks. We're just not going to do it.
Right.
So that's just my opinion, but it's going in a good direction.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the league cannot ignore just the brilliance of black quarterbacks now, so they really don't have a choice, just given where we are. I think the true test is, as Danash referenced earlier, is who the backup quarterbacks are, okay? Because there's still a disproportionate amount of backup quarterbacks that are not black. When you look at the numbers of black quarterbacks in the league and black players, so that is a position that black quarterbacks should be allowed to. They don't have to be brilliant all the time. They can have that second tier kind of talent, the same grace that is afforded white quarterbacks to be a backup.
That's
and
a
career backup.
That's you. That's you.
Yeah,
That
good.
might be the biggest point, tonight, because I am tired of. I actually said that something about this in my podcast, not about black quarterbacks, but about Deion coaches. And I think the same thing rings true with black quarterbacks, is that the minute these conversations can still keep happening. I know we were just joking, but it can still keep happening and it still be in a good place. But the real good place is when, like you just said, we stop scrutinizing, these black quarterbacks the exact same way that we scrutinize everybody else. Tom Brady was afforded, I'm not talking about bad plays. Tom was afforded off seasons. Tom was afforded, he was injured. When he was injured, we didn't, the way he was injured when Matt Castle came in and relieved him, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was week 1, I think it was, like literally tore his ACL and he was done. Like I've seen RG3, lead his team to, RG3 literally led his team to a conference title, the first one in like a long time. And then he had either torn or partially torn ACL, went out and tried to play on it, out of sheer will and determination and passion and love for the game. And just to this day, he's ridiculed, oh, it was stupid. No, he had to do that because he knew what was about to happen. He knew that his leash was very, very short, and I think that's the best point tonight is that part is what these black quarterbacks ultimately are scared of. And honestly, is any black man or black woman that's going out into their work in
any
their
field,
job, any field, we're not afforded these moments of clarity that you guys get. We're not afforded this grace and mercy that you guys are afforded. And we have to be perfect within the first 10 tries. You guys get 35 tries.
Right.
Like I said, sticking on black quarterbacks, that's the thing. People are going to start. Matter of fact, it's already started with Lamar Jackson. Like they're pitting him against another black quarterback. Let's be honest, the whiter one, right? Patrick Mahomes.
That's true.
They're pitting him against him, saying you can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Nobody's talking about the fact that this man is 8-1, and I did not do no research before this. Nobody's talking about that this man is 8-1 against Joe Burrow. No one's talking about it.
No, we're talking about
against the Cincinnati Bengals, he's 8-1. You don't hear.
I spoke about that on my podcast. I sure enough did.
You hear about he has the number of, Patrick Mahomes has his number, and so that needs to stop. That the grace needs to be granted, and again, if that's granted, and we don't play with that pressure behind the center, it's going to be even worse for, I guess, white quarterbacks or anybody. It's going to be worse for anybody else that's trying to play behind a brother that's determined, and let alone not just determined, but he knows he's going to get a couple of chances, So
listen, great point. Listen, when we are done with this episode, when you guys get some free time, I'm telling you, you guys didn't even see the Michael Vick documentary on the black quarterback, but same points. Same points. What you're saying is so true, and it's crazy that it's subtly still there, right? It's not as overt, but it's subtly still there because they were doing the same thing to the pioneers of the game.
What stood out most in that doc for you, Danash? And obviously, I've read excerpts from it, but if there's one or two things that really stood out, what would that be?
I love how they started with past, present, and future. I learned something new. You guys know I am obsessed with the sport of football, but just to learn that Tony Dungy, one of my favorite coaches of all time, actually played quarterback collegiately and played it very well, and was told, like, if you want to go to this league, we're going to change your position.
Right.
Deion Sanders, light bulb. I said, no wonder he got the swag he got. That man was a quarterback
Right.
before he was told and offered, like, yeah, let's change that position. Getting different people's perspectives, because again, everybody's story was kind of similar, but very different, right? The choices they had to make. And then I love seeing where we are now. And my favorite part was the conversation with Colin Kaepernick. He
What
is
did they go into?
so vital to this sport. What you say, Jarvis?
Like, not to give it away, but like, did they go into like the typical, like, you know, what he was thinking in regards to kneeling, or did they go into more so him being a black quarterback?
Him being a black quarterback,
Okay.
they did it very well. Him being a black quarterback, and he still loved that sport, man. You know, it's tough when the sport is taken away from you. Let's call it what it was. He didn't go out because he was injured. He didn't go out because he sucked. He went out because he spoke up, and it is what it is. Call a spade a spade. The sport was taken away from him. The pain in his eyes when he was speaking about that really resonated with me. But again, to your point, we're not monolithic, right? What he did in that time period, then I guess a lot of people couldn't see it. Right? We got over 50-something people on the team, so it's not everybody gonna be on the same page, right? Like, your check bigger than my check, okay? I'm gonna punt to you the damn quarterback, right? So I ain't gonna niggle. You can niggle. I understand all that, but it took a few years later. Fortunately, the world just stopped at the perfect time for everybody's light bulb to go off. So, Colin, if you see this now, see this 10 years from now, like, I want to say appreciate you. What you did was so impactful. And I think I got a calling for you, bro. You're so much bigger than being a quarterback. Like, I truly believe you're on your purpose and fighting for racial injustice.
No doubt. And, you know, when you mention Dion, I'm thinking Shador. If Dion was afforded that opportunity, he might have been Shador 35 years ago in terms of playing quarterback, and you know, and the success that Shador has had. So it just shows you when you grow up, you know, in whatever era that you are in, can definitely change the whole narrative about your life story.
Absolutely.
Fabian, question for you. Who was that, like, the first black quarterback you saw that made you say, wow, we can do this?
Doug Williams. 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. That man could do no wrong on that Sunday. I was so damn proud. I don't think I sat down for the entire game. I was so pumped, and it was just his day. It was just his day, and so it was Doug Williams. And obviously Moon had his times, but something about Doug Williams just standing in a pocket there and picking apart Denver and being named the first black quarterback, obviously, to be named Super Bowl MVP, did it for me.
What about you, Jarvis? Who made you say, damn, that's us?
Well, I ain't cursed when I was like 12, 13, so I said I said darn. But nah, but seriously, I was thinking about it when you asked him. I think I was an almanac guy. Like, I was an almanac kid. I used to read all the stats, everything on anybody. And so the first one you read about was Randall Cunningham, but the first one you saw, it kind of was three of them together,
Okay.
right? It was kind of three of them together, and it was Vic, McNabb, and Culpepper, like
Nice.
together, right?
Nice.
That was like middle school, going into high school, and it was cool to not only see them play well and not only see people wearing their jerseys, but when I think social media, but on the social platforms of being on the covers of Madden and being on Sports Illustrated and having almost like these I won't say beefs, but they had these rivalries. They had these rivalries against them when they played. Vic and McNabb, especially Dante Culpepper with the help of Randy Moss, was just like, yeah, that it was those three almost like the early 2000s, late 90s at that same time. Like that 5-year gap of, like I said, 98 to 03 was just like, okay, like this different. Like all of them were different. If they can say what they want about McNabb, say what you want about Culpepper. Everybody know Vic, but them two, McNabb and Culpepper, were different when they played. Big
No,
time.
absolutely.
Different.
McNabb definitely set the standard. He's
Right.
one of them ones.
Yeah.
And Culpepper, one of them ones. All the pioneers, definitely
Right.
one of them ones. I don't care, and even if you don't know, y'all better Google. Okay, even talking on a collegiate level. Okay, like
Right.
Andre Ware. Y'all better Google one of them ones, and you know your girl be knowing. Okay, you know your girl know.
Yeah,
And for
that's not
me,
crazy.
as I alluded to earlier, I want to say around 92-ish. I want to say, oh, yeah, I'm telling my age. I saw that black man. He was a little bit older then, right? I saw that baby blue powdered jersey with
Yeah,
that
one
white,
goal.
and I was just like enamored. Enamored. If I
Yeah,
knew
he was a
better,
monster, man.
if
He a
I didn't
monster.
get brainwashed, I would have been a now Titans fan because of that man.
No doubt. So I got a question for y'all. And the question is, if you had an opportunity to interview any of those quarterbacks that we just talked about and still have an opportunity, who would it be and what would you ask them? Starting with you, Jar.
I've always wanted to know this. I always wanted to know this. I think Michael Vick is the most. I think he's one of the 5 most influential athletes in team sports ever.
Wow.
Period. In the history of any sport of all time. Right.
Uh-huh.
He literally made playing quarterback, like everybody went up for running back, and everybody as a kid until 7 came, and it was like, we can do this, But I always wanted to know how close. This is but this is just the almanac guy in me. I don't know if we know Dante Culpepper without Randy Moss, and I want to know how close they are right now, because I'm a really grateful person, right? I'm an extremely grateful person, and I don't have pride issues, so I give due as due always. I probably overdo my dues, but it's like, man, like Dante, you kind of owe Randy Moss kind of everything for your name even being talked about, in the league. So I want to know, like, how was it playing with Randy Moss, with him having that much influence on him? Because we don't know, like other quarterbacks that Randy Moss played with, we know Dante and we know Tom. Tom did not need you, Randy, but Dante, you needed Randy.
Not too much on my boy.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying. No, I'm saying. Tom Brady did not need Randy Moss.
No, that's a fact.
Dante Culpepper and he's from he's from the crib. He's from the area. That Central Florida.
Right.
He grew up like 70 miles from where I grew up. So it's like I just would like to know his story a little bit. I would like to know his story in a general, and then the end of the story being you and Randy Moss. Like, what's y'all relationship like? Because you don't hear about them in the news. You don't hear about their relationship. You
At
don't hear
all.
about God. We always wondered how cool are you?
Mhm.
You know, that'd be one person, Dante for sure.
Mhm.
I have to pick one because I kind of have to.
You can pick two.
Black quarterback, not Tom Brady. Black
Not Tom. Not
You
Tom. Not
need to
Tom.
stop.
Black.
Definitely Mike Vick, and I would ask him, like, being the first black quarterback to get drafted #1.
Mm.
how did he feel? Like, how surreal was that moment for him, right? We talking about the first, and then you in the black mess. So did
Right.
he feel that pressure to be Mike Vick? Or was he always zoned in, cool, calm, and collected, and it was just like, hey, I'm gonna be me. I'm good. I got this. Because I can just imagine that's a lot. Or can
That's
be.
a good one.
Depending on your-
That's a good one. That's a real good one. Because right now, I swear, like, I love Lamar Jackson. He is a better quarterback than Michael Vick. It's kind of hard to even say he is, though.
Right. He
But
is.
but he is. But like everybody's confident once you've seen it 1,000. Like Vic never saw it. Like he
At
saw
all.
it and see it like that. We didn't see it like that. Like the way he did it, and it didn't come with the hip hop culture like rocking behind Randall. Did not have hip hop behind him like that. You know, Warren Moon ain't have hip hop behind him like that. Like we talk about entire music culture, taking your name right there in Atlanta and just going, we got your back. Like we got your back in everything. I would want to know how you feel. That's a great one.
Right. And I see so many comparisons, Jarvis, with Michael Vick and AI in Philly. Right?
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
the same thing.
same thing, bro.
And Dion, them three, AI, Dion, and Mike
Yep.
Vick, like top, like three of the most influential. Like it's unreal. It's unreal. Hey, what about you? You asked the question, but what
No,
about
I
you?
want to get
Yeah.
the second one. I want to get a second one from Danash. She said she
No,
got two.
we gonna
Oh,
keep it
you
on
did have
Vic. It
two.
was
It's
gonna be Moon, but we gonna keep it on Vic. We gonna keep it on Vic. How about you, Fabian?
Well, I got to tip my hat to Willie Thrower, man. The
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson of the NFL. I don't think his story has been told well enough, often enough. But man, I'd like you to sit down, have a coffee with Mr. Thrower, and I want to hear them stories, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And I would ask him, Willie, did you ever think about giving up, man? Because I know you heard some stuff, and I know some stuff was thrown at you. The first black quarterback in the Big Ten, and then to be the first black quarterback in the modern
Yep.
NFL. He's been through some
1953.
stuff.
right.
So the Willie Thrower. And you know what? Straight up, anybody out there wearing a gold jacket, y'all need to put that man in the Hall of Fame, man. I mean, he walked through some doors and held some doors open while being subjected to a lot of stuff that allowed other people to follow behind him, man. So Willie Thrower needs to be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you. I mean, we could talk about this forever. Forever
Sure.
and ever. And we might do a part 2 to it. I don't see why
Yeah.
not. I don't see why not. I appreciate you guys for coming on and rocking with your girl on such short notice. Fabian, as always, a pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. I will see you next week.
No doubt.
Fabian. And Jarvis, my love, thank you for coming on, dropping your gems per usual. And I will see you soon. Again, you guys can follow Fabian. Fabian, tell the people where they can follow you at.
That's right. Thank you, Danash. You can find me on Game Changers with Fabian Lyon on IG, and we're also on YouTube Live. And Danash is going to be a special co-host next week, so check us out. Jarvis, I just want to take the opportunity. Great to meet you, my brother.
Same.
Congrats on your podcast and everything you got going on, man.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna definitely follow you on IG for sure. I appreciate meeting you, man. It was awesome.
All right, bro.
Jarvis, you can't leave without telling the people about you now. Don't do that.
Oh man, go quick. Mr. Six, MISTERSYXX on all platforms personally, but more importantly, the Keep It a Buck pod on IG and on YouTube and TikTok. It's Josh and Jarvis. Keep It a Buck, and that is Josh Evans from Jacksonville Jaguars and Washington Commanders. Tune in every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. We release, except today we released at 6, but
You get in your groove. Stop it.
right. We good.
As usual,
I
guys.
love you and I appreciate you as always. For real.
Love y'all more. Great conversation with two great men who are doing amazing things in the world. And I will see you guys next week. Later.
All right. Take care.
See ya.